It's the morning of the fashion show. It's 3 a.m. I'm yet to go to bed. I should have gone to bed. I was planning to go to bed at like 10 p.m. but I go home at like 8, so that was not happening realistically. Um, I'm excited. I think I'm too tired to show my excitement, but I'm excited. Um, I think it might be one of those things where like I've been working on it for so long that like it doesn't feel. Maybe it doesn't feel impressive as it should. Or maybe because it's like the kind of thing that I've kind of just like chipped away at, it feels a lot less remarkable than it is. I don't know if it's particularly remarkable. I think it's very impressive. I'm happy that I was able to achieve what I set out to achieve. I was just before recording this looking back at episode 1 of Japanese, and I said in 2025 I wanted to do a museum event slash exhibition, and this is the event half of that aspiration, which is cool. And it turned out essentially how I wanted it to, and maybe in a slightly different shape. And there were things I hadn't considered when it was a raw idea. There was things I hadn't thought of, things I didn't know how they would practically work. I didn't know where I wanted the fashion show to happen. I didn't know what the actual structure would be. I didn't know what the presentation would be like. But fuck, I just realized I've not made a speech yet. I need to send a speech over. I really need to do that actually. But this was a yawn. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I think I'll be more appreciative of it when it's done. Maybe I could be wrong. I think I look quite washed actually. Could do with the shave. I probably won't shave this morning. I don't think I will, to be honest. Just being genuinely honest. But yeah, I don't think anyone's watching these. Like, I think genuinely the only chance someone finds these is if I become a notable figure in the future. When people like look up my name, because literally all of this is it's just some years of learning. So, um, I usually try not to have my face on there, so I'm not focusing on myself. Um, yeah, I don't really know what I wanted to say here. I was like impressed, I guess. Like I was happy. It's kind of like I think of when you have like a long term project. It's like I guess you need to like take a step back and be appreciative of it. I'm very grateful with the people who allowed it to happen. Big ups to Jason. Jason Oliver. He's a very goated man. Love him very much. Thank you to everyone at Culture Per Thinking Ross. Feels like I'm practicing my speech, but it's not quite what I want to do. I guess I'm just like it's like another thing I've managed to pull off. Well, we'll see if I pull it off tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, it's nice. I guess it's a reminder that it is possible. Maybe that like things I set out to do, like as long as I'm proactive, will happen if I make it an objective. If I make it like a if I try to make it an objective truth and not something to be contested. That's kind of like I guess it sounds almost narcissistic perhaps. But I try to treat these things like facts almost. Like this will happen. Something that's going to happen, a project I will do. My next project is, as opposed to I really want to do this. I hope I can do it. It's just, I feel like maybe, I don't know. Well, I guess I'm allowed to just speak what I think right now without having to worry about what anyone thinks. Because that's like the whole point of this is just essentially a journal. So I don't have to like pretend. even though perception is kind of fucked and like I don't know. I feel like even in my written journal, I'm aware of that I might be perceived. It's like with I'm writing in the journal, but I'm also imagining that someone might read it at some point in the future, which is like a really crazy, like egotistical, but like also like the way everyone's conditioned to think now is that there's like a higher power perceiving your work, or like a version of Big Brother maybe. I don't know. I can't tell if the way I'm looking back and forth makes me look paranoid. But I'm of sound mind and body. I think maybe not body, but sound mind and soul. But yeah, I'll be fine. Looking forward to finishing this project. I guess that's kind of sometimes what happens as well. I should probably get used to having long ass projects though, because something with this project is that like it's been so long, and the deadline is it got to the point where it was looming, and it felt like, oh, I can't wait to be done with this project so I can just get on to the next thing. I guess I kind of have it with master as well. These kind of like longer term projects like are I think very rewarding, but I guess it's just a lot of work, which is like a given. But I think I'll look back on it and be very grateful. But then there's also the element of control, which I'm kind of coming to terms with and getting used to still, with the expectation of control versus how much control you are usually given, or like levity, and how much control I want to have in the future. Over my work is where I'm able to exercise the most control, but with this, it's really hard for it to feel like mine whilst not having like full oversight over what's happening, you know, because it's technically a culture per thing and was production, if you will. You know, it's not really, even if like I did the creative direction or like came up with the idea, it's not really mine because it's all on the Culture Per Think and Rock's website, and any work that gets done by anyone, regardless of if it's me or someone else, it just gets like lumped into the collective, which is fine, but it like dilutes, I guess, control, dilutes like my sense of authorship, maybe. I think I might have made the video more personal if I felt like it was from me and not from the collective. Cause then, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it could be very good. I'm looking forward to having this. I need to update my CV, but I think I'm looking forward to adding this to like my list of accomplishments. I don't. That sounds quite vain, I think, but I mean, like to be able to use this as leverage for pitching ideas. I think this would be really good, and I really want to. I actually do, as much as this might seem like it's dragging the concept, I do actually want to carry it forward in Perth, to like some kind of exhibition, but like I think that would have to be like a whole nother process of like applying for funding, or like we don't even know if the youth collective is going to continue after this fashion show, because we're running out, like our funding ends in November or December, and so we're gonna find out if we've been renewed or not. But if I wanted to do an exhibition as a continuation of this fashion show, I think it would have to be either separate for me to be like willing to do it. Yeah, it's something I'm not considering. I've kind of just like pushed it to the back of my head because the fashion show was the primary objective, but now it's to the point where like things are like set, so there's no point in worrying about them anymore. Like there's a point like maybe yesterday at which I was like, okay, I'm never gonna export the video again for the purposes of the fashion show, so I can like stop worrying about the video and just focus on the clothes, like finishing touches for the clothes. And now I've done that, and it's to the point where I don't have to worry about the clothes until we're doing a dress rehearsal or something. So cool. It's cool. It's cool. Um, yeah. But I really want to do. I think I really do care about visibility. Like I wanted this to be visible. I know we've sold our tickets. I don't know how many tickets we were selling. Um, I would like to find out that like we had a crazily reduced number of tickets just so we could have the false sense of being sold out. But it's we've sold out, so that's good to know. I'm very happy and very pleased. I think I'm maybe still too worried about the event going well to be pleased that the event sold out, but I think I'll probably be very pleased afterwards. Um, but I guess in relation to like um, the museum thing of it, why I'm so like I wouldn't say obsessed, but why I'm caught up with wanting to do like institutional backed events or like um, put on like those kind of things is just like I guess a sense of like um, maybe permanence. Like if something's like hung up and framed and it's huge and people are paying to see it, it's like it might. I would hope I could really be able to leave a lasting impression in their mind, and then maybe it'd be added to some kind of archive, and then maybe it's like I've been with that organization at some point. You know, I become part of the history. Maybe I don't fucking know, to be honest. But I really want to do something next year. First exploration, public exploration of my identity as a second generation immigrant. So kind of looking at West Africa versus Western world. Scotland versus Ghana, or Scotland and Ghana, not necessarily versus. Um, but I guess how they feel like they're versus each other in my internally. My sense of identity feels like it's doing a tug of war between my African side and my Scottish side. So I don't really know what I am. I don't know if I will ever find a defined sense of self. I don't know if I need to. I don't know if it's necessary. I think it would be nice to. But I don't know if it will ever feel right, quote unquote. You know, something I'm willing to explore. But I think what I need is independence, like more independence than this. Like if I was to give feedback for this, and it's not really to the fault of the youth collective. It's more that my project demanded more than the youth collective could realistically provide, and that's like that it was my idea, and like I did not consider the other people when I pitched it, as in like I kind of in my head wanted them to be more like like helpers than actual than like I didn't picture it being like an equal split of work, and definitely wasn't an equal split of work. Like I definitely did like more than everyone else, like objectively, as in because I pitched the idea, I probably had more of an understanding than anyone else of the project, which is almost like um, indicative of like my lack of explanation skills, perhaps, you know. Like I wasn't able to properly communicate the idea. There was a point at which everyone got it, I think, but then I don't know. Communication is like it's a big thing. I'm still working on it. But what I'm trying to say, I think, is that it would have ended up essentially the same, but I would have been happier if I was able to do the whole thing by myself than having it split up across so many different people, because it means I'm not able to. I won't be truly happy with everything because it's made by someone else. It's made by someone else. But trust is a massive thing in terms of like when you start having projects that require multiple people and you to trust someone else to do something without you watching them. But I think I didn't want this project to be that. Like I wanted to have more. I wanted it to be more me, despite the fact that it's a youth collective thing. So like, realistically, it was always going to have to be like a collective, the collective's voice, which is what it ended up being because everyone has their own decade, everyone has their own few decades, and so it's like their idea for what the decade should look like and how the clothes should look and fit and feel. And so I'm more of like a prompter and lighter creative director of the project. But what I wanted, I think, was a more directorial kind of role, and then to, but like that's not like, it's not very democratic. And the youth collective, I think, is supposed to be quite democratic in terms of like an equal split of, I don't want to say power, but essentially power, like of ownership. Like we all equally own a part of the project, and all are expected to contribute essentially an equal amount of effort and passion and time and all this. Um, so we'll see. But yeah, I wanna do more stuff in the future. This is like something crossed off, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this crosses off. I don't even know like this idea of like crossing things off, quote unquote. But I'm glad it's come to a head. We're almost done, almost there. Tomorrow, in like literally in how many hours? 12 hours. Let's do the math, bro. Do the math. 16 hours. Less than 16 hours will be underway. Be cracking. Hmm. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Hmm. Cool. Thank you very much for listening. If you listen, no one's here. There's just me, but that's cool. I don't mind. I do not mind at all. Thank you very much.